Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram. Today our Marvel Legends reviews continue with this Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure wave, and we have in front of me Ant-Man from the brand new Ant-Man and the Wasp film. Very excited for the film, but in the UK it's been delayed until August due to the World Cup. Now that is very frustrating, as in the US it still comes out in July. So for a whole month, how am I going to avoid spoilers? It's not going to happen. So I hope nothing too crazy happens in this film that's going to get spoiled for me. But still, nevertheless, excited to see the film and excited to have this figure with the unmasked Paul Rudd head. Very, very excited. Much more screen accurate Ant-Man compared to the previous one we got on the Ultron Build-A-Figure wave in 2015, where the outfit, even though it was an MCU figure, wasn't screen accurate, probably based on some early concept art. But still, excited to open this guy. He comes with the Build-A-Figure leg for Cull Obsidian, so as always, subscribe to the channel. We'll be looking at him, but today it's about Ant-Man. So let's look at the box. Picture of Ant-Man. On the back you get a little read up that says Scotland suits up as Ant-Man with a specialised suit energised by PIM technologies that lets him blast into any battle, big or small. Promo art, and of course a list of all the figures in this wave we need to complete the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Ant-Man. And I've just noticed for the first time I'm actually reviewing them in order of the box, which I've probably not done before. More Ant-Man, and yeah, without further ado, let's open this guy up and look at that figure. Pow, and here we have Ant-Man out of the box, just like he was posed in the box. I do like that unique style they had him posed in the box. That was a nice touch from Hasbro. Yes, really like this figure. First impressions are very good. Let's put the mask down for a second. This suit is much more movie accurate. I'm a little bit frustrated that the arm seems to be a little bit warped because of the pose from the box. So I guess that's the downsize or the down point from Hasbro trying to be a bit quirky with their packaging. So I'm going to have to get some hot water to that arm, because otherwise it's going to be permanently bent. But in regards to the outfit, it's very nice. I've noticed as well that this belt piece is separate, so it hides the waist joint, which is nice. That's a separate piece. I do like the costume design, as you're meant to be able to see like a little ant's face, which is pretty good. Much more movie accurate. No interchangeable hands, so we've got one punching hand and one sort of grab hand. So that's always annoying when you can't change up your poses, but I suppose one of each is probably the best option if you're only going to get one set of hands. Unfortunately, no other accessories apart from what you see here. Of course, you get the Build-A-Figure leg for Cull Obsidian. This guy's a beast. Look forward to reviewing him. Subscribe to the channel, stay tuned. I will be reviewing Cull Obsidian last. But yeah, apart from the Build-A-Figure piece, this is all you get in the box, which is okay because, as I said, if we're only going to get one accessory, I'd rather it be an unmasked head for a figure like this. But because Ant-Man, you could have given us like a tiny little Ant-Man figure. That would have been perfect. We did get one with the original Ultron wave Ant-Man, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But yeah, it would have been good to get a new one, as it's only a tiny bit of plastic you could have given us. But the suit is much more accurate to the screen. This is the version he's wearing in the new movie, and very similar to the version he's wearing in Civil War. I don't think Civil War has the red stripes down the side of the helmet. Maybe that's a new touch. But yeah, this Paul Rudd head is amazing. I like that it's not just a bland face. It's got a little quirky expression on, just like you'd expect from Paul Rudd. Again, this new face printing technology from Hasbro is amazing. So glad they're giving it us. So let me try and zoom in and show you the Paul Rudd head, if it will focus. And yeah, do you see Paul Rudd? Yeah, I do, definitely. Maybe he's got a 5 head, but still, you can tell this head looks different to like just a generic unmasked head. You can tell that it's Paul Rudd. Yeah, really like it. Hasbro, well done. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Let me zoom out and put the tripod down. Yes, I did get a new tripod for anyone paying attention. Not as good as my old one though. And here we have Ant-Man, and that looks so good. So happy to have a more movie accurate Ant-Man for the display. This guy's going to look so good. There's texturing on all the figure. There's sculpted detail. The articulations everywhere you'd expect it to be. He even looks good from behind. So yeah, high praise for this figure. Looks so good. Can't wait to display him on the shelf. Ant-Man's so good for ACBA as well, because you could pose him just next to generic things you've got in the house, and it looks like an a guy shrunk down. It's just so good. I will compare him to Giant Man and the other Ant-Man figures I've got. But yeah, what do you think, people? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this figure? Definitely the best Ant-Man figure we have had MCU-wise so far. And we're getting the second one in that 2-pack with the yellow jacket with a different Paul Rudd head. I'll throw up a picture if I've got one up there. So yeah, that's another Ant-Man we're getting this year, but it's going to be hard to beat. Pow! So here he is compared to the other Ant-Man MCU figures that we have had so far. As I've mentioned already, this one is from the Ultron Build-A-Figure wave from about 2015, and it wasn't movie accurate. We're assuming that this was made on some early concept art, as there is a scene in the film where he sort of pops down the mask, but not the one they went for in the film. So definitely done with early concept art, but it was all we had, and I liked it for the time. Sculpted detail was good, and the rest of the suit seemed accurate, but the eyes were just like a painted orange, and the face was just some skin tone, no real detail. But yeah, it was okay for the time, but this guy just beats it so much better. I guess you could swap the heads if you wanted to see how that looks, but we are getting an updated, so that's that, which looks a little bit better, I suppose, but we are getting an updated Ant-Man figure from the first Ant-Man film, which is essentially a reissue of this guy, but with the movie accurate head. So yeah, this guy is definitely going to be, whoops, the camera foul, this guy is definitely going to be replaced in the collection, but this guy is so good. Now, as you can see, Giant Man's a bit too tall to fit on my screen, as my tripod, as I've mentioned already, I brought a new tripod that's not very good. So let me try and just pull out a little bit. That's what she said. And that is your comparison. Now, the suits are a little bit different. As I've mentioned, the stripes on the head is definitely one of them, but then also the design on the chest is a little bit different. So it's not the perfect display if you're gonna, I know Shartimus always likes to do his shrinking effect, but the costumes don't sync up perfectly, but it's still quite good if that's what you wanted to do. Maybe we'll get a new Giant Man down the line, but I'm not too fussed about that. I'd rather something else personally. But yeah, that's not very good for the video, is it, when you can't see him? But yeah, that's Ant-Man and Giant Man. Now, without cutting away, let me just move him out the way for a second and bring in the old Ant-Man that's been displayed. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know that my Ant-Man is displayed on Captain America, sitting on his shoulder with his shield. So that's probably the best comparison I can give you. I think we're going to get that piece again in that 2-pack with a yellow jacket, but just for comparison's sake, there is Ant-Man compared to some of his partners from the Civil War film. I did want to get him compared to Falcon, but he's posed up on my shelf in a nice displaying pose, and I didn't want to ruin it. So for now, you've got Black Widow and Cap with tiny little Ant-Man and then big Ant-Man. But yeah, so happy to have an updated version of him. So obviously I will compare him to the Wasp when I get to it, but for now, that's Ant-Man. Now, I can't remember who asked me on Instagram, but someone wanted to see the Paul Rudd head on a suited body. Now, this is a suited, I think it was a Coulson body that I've just painted the tie black to make it a bit more generic looking for my Tony Stark figure I had posed on the shelf. But that Paul Rudd looks so good on just a normal suited body. I really like that face sculpt. I should really zoom in and show you that face sculpt, shouldn't I? If I haven't done it already. If it will focus, there we go. Oh, just again, I think I've already showed you it close up, but really like it. Thank you, Hasbro. But yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to show you. Let's, I suppose, bring in some other figures from this wave that I've already reviewed, including Black Widow and Thor. They've all been knocked over on the thing, so hopefully I can get them to stand up. There you go. So these are the figures that I've reviewed in the wave so far. There's Giant Man to the side. But this wave is so good. So good so far. If you're an MCU collector, then this wave is a must get to fill in some of those gaps on the shelf for your recent displays. As I said, I will compare Ant-Man to the Wasp. Obviously, I will review the Wasp next. She looks great as well. But until then, people, please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. As always, there's a playlist on the channel with all of the reviews from this wave, and I will review the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure last. You let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Ant-Man? Are you getting it? Are you not? Is it the best Ant-Man we've had so far? The answer is yes, people. The answer is yes. What do you think of the unmasked Paul Rudd head as well? Do you like it? I do. But yeah, until then, people, I shall see you on the next one.